Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and we have a brand new Skull Servant card. I'm currently at work, so I'll be nice and quick about this. This is a new White Lord of White Swarm. Not Light Swarm, but White Swarm. It looks like it's a knight, which is really cool because of course you have a king and a Skull Servant, his royal family, and now we have a Lord of the White Swarm. And this card is pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. It has 3 effects. This card is always treated as a Skull Servant while in grave, which is really important because the more Skull Servants and King of Skull Servants you have in grave, it boosts up your King's attack, so in order you can one-shot kill your opponent. The second effect is, if you have a Skull Servant in your graveyard, you can send this card from your field or hand to the grave in order to then send Skull Servants from your deck up to the number of Skull Servants in graveyard, which I believe counts himself when he sends himself. So that means you can send like a stupid amount of Skull Servants. If you set yourself up with White Prince and all the other White Swarm monsters, Skull Servant, I said White Swarm, Skull Servant monsters, and you just set them up and then do this effect, you could be milling like 10 cards, which is absolutely insane. I already see Light Swarms and Tier Elements playing this as like a Skull Servant engine, just because that card is just completely insane. In fact, you just mill up to a number of names in grave, because you can have multiple of the same guy in there, because they all treat themselves as Skull Servant. There's as many Skull Servants you have in grave, including himself, which is pretty insane. You're going to mill like 10 or 15 cards. And if you play this in, like, let's say a Light Swarm deck, or a Tier Element deck, or just any kind of mill deck, and you mill these dudes, and then do that effect at the very end, you'll be milling your whole deck, man. It's kind of insane. Basically, Meteor New Agido, Agido, Kelbek, move out of the way. We have a brand new Skull Servant, Light Lord, and that's not only what he does. He has a third and final effect. This card can banish himself from the graveyard to spell summon a King of the Skull Servants from your grave onto the field. Ain't that kind of insane? So not only does this like mill like 10 to 20 cards, not only does this card treat itself as a Light Swarm, as a Skull Servant in grave, but also could banish itself to Reborn the King. I mean, you can't really beat that when it comes to Skull Servant support, and I'm not gonna lie, this is actually insane support, and we were adding my deck tests with this. I can definitely see Light Swarm or Tier Elements playing this as an engine in order to win games. So we'll just have to see. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't think it's stupid. See you all next one, and bye-bye.